Students, today I am going to deal the topic bipolar and unipolar leads, application of ECG, electrical activity of the brain, from the chapter Introduction to Biomedical Instrumentation. Upon completion of this presentation, you will be able to understand the concepts of bipolar and unipolar leads, application of ECG, electrical activity of the brain, EEG, frequency range, types and placement of electrodes, schematic diagram of EEG machine, and application of EEG measurements. Upon completion of this presentation, you will be able to understand the concepts of bipolar and unipolar leads, application of ECG, electrical activity of the brain, EEG, frequency range, types and placement of electrodes, schematic diagram of EEG machine, and application of EEG measurements. Unipolar leads. Augmented leads and chest leads have a single positive recording electrode and utilize a combination of other electrodes to serve as a composite negative electrode. Unipolar leads have a single positive recording electrode and utilize a combination of the other electrodes to serve as a composite negative electrode. Some of the ECG leads are bipolar leads, that is the standard limb leads, which utilize a single positive and a single negative electrode between which electrical potentials are measured. Some of the ECG leads are bipolar leads that utilize a single positive and a single negative electrode between which electrical potentials are measured. The comparison between unipolar and bipolar leads. Unipolar leads, they are augmented unipolar limb lead system. Unipolar lead is a solid stainless steel needle which is insulated except at its tip. There is only one electrode called the stimulating electrode. Three augmented lead connections are possible. These leads include AVL, augmented voltage right, AVR, augmented voltage left, and AVF, augmented voltage foot. Voltage is taken between a single exploratory electrode and a central terminal. So unipolar leads are the augmented unipolar limb lead system, whereas bipolar leads are standard leads which are called Einthoven lead system. Unipolar lead is a solid stainless steel lead, whereas bipolar is a hollow needle containing two pieces of platinum wires, each of which is insulated except at its tip. In unipolar leads, one electrode is called the stimulating electrode, and the two electrodes are there in the bipolar leads. They are called, one is the stimulating electrode and other one is the contact electrode. Three augmented leads connections are possible, and these leads are AVL, AVR and AVF. Whereas when we come to the bipolar lead configuration, electrodes are placed in four different locations: left arm, left leg, right arm and right leg. These leads include the frontal leads in an ECG lead 1, lead 2 and lead 3 configuration. Whereas in the unipolar leads, voltage is taken between the single exploratory electrode and the central terminal. Whereas in the bipolar leads, the potential difference is measured between the two electrodes. The potential difference is measured between the two electrodes. Applications of ECG. ECG indicates the rate and the rhythm or pattern of the contraction of the heart muscles. It indicates the rate and rhythm and the pattern of contraction of the heart. It gives a clue about the condition of the heart muscles and is used to diagnose heart disorders. It is used to diagnose heart disorders. It helps the doctors to determine whether the heart is normal or enlarged, or if its certain regions are damaged. It helps the doctors to determine whether the heart is normal, enlarged, or if its certain regions are damaged. It can also reveal the irregularities in the heart rhythms known as arrhythmias. Arrhythmias are the disturbances in the heart rhythm. It is also used by the doctors to diagnose heart damage in conditions like high blood pressure, rheumatic fever, and birth defects. It is used by the doctors to diagnose heart damage in conditions like high blood pressure, rheumatic fever, and birth defects. ECG also helps to determine the location and amount of injury caused by heart attack, and later they help to assess the extent of recovery. ECG also helps to determine the location and the amount of injury caused by heart attack, and later helps to assess the extent of the recovery. Electroencephalogram, the instrument used for recording the it is the instrument which is used for recording the electrical activity of the brain by suitably placing surface electrodes on the scalp, is an electroencephalograph. The brain generates rhythmic potentials which originate in the individual neurons of the brain. These potentials, they get summated as millions of cells discharge synchronously and appear waveform known as electroencephalogram. So these potentials, they get summated as millions of cells discharge synchronously and appear waveform known as the electroencephalogram. The neurons, like the other cells of the body, are electrically polarized at rest. At rest they are electrically polarized, that is the resting potential, when the interior of the neuron is at a potential of about minus 70 millivolts relative to the exterior, it is said to be polarized. When it is seen as a change, when there is a change in the membrane potential, it is generated and spread in the cell, resulting in depolarization of the cell. Shortly afterwards, repolarization occurs. The EEG signal can be picked up with the electrodes either from the scalp or directly from the cerebral cortex. The peak-to-peak amplitude of the waves that can be picked up from the scalp is normally 100 microvolts or less, while that on the exposed brain is about 1 millivolt. The frequency varies greatly with different behavioral states. The normal EEG frequency contained ranges from 0.5 to 50 Hz. The nature of the wave varies over the different parts of the scalp. The variation in the EEG signals, both in terms of amplitude and frequency, they are of diagnostic values. The frequency information is particularly very significant. So frequency varies greatly with different behavioral states. The normal EEG frequency contains ranges from 0.5 to 50 Hz. The nature of the waves vary over the different parts of the scalp. The variation in the EEG signal, both in terms of amplitude and frequency, are of diagnostic value. The frequency information is particularly very significant. Types of electrodes for EEG measurement. There are 5 types of electrodes that are used for EEG measurement. The scalp electrodes, we have different types of electrodes. The first one is the scalp electrodes. They are in the shape of silver pads or discs or caps, which are made of stainless steel and chloride silver wires. So scalp electrodes, these are in the shape of silver pad discs or caps made of stainless steel and chloride silver wires. Sphenoidal electrodes, alternatingly insulated silver bare wire chloride tips inserted through muscle tissue by a needle. Nasopharyngeal electrodes, these are silver rods with silver ball at the tip inserted through the muscle tissue by a needle. The nasopharyngeal electrodes, these are silver rod with silver ball at the tip inserted through the nostril. Then electrocorticographic needles, they are cotton wicks which are soaked in saline solutions that rest on the brain surface. Then we have intercerebral electrodes. These are Teflon coated we have platinum wires used to stimulate the brain. Intercerebral, which are Teflon coated gold or platinum wires used to stimulate the brain. Then coming to the placement of electrodes, EEG electrodes are placed in the standard positions on the skull in an arrangement called as 10 by 20 system. The EEG electrodes, they are placed in the standard positions on the skull in an arrangement called as 10 by 20 system. The 10 and 20 refers to the 10% and or 20% of the interelectrode distance. The 10 and 20 refers to 10% or 20% of the interelectrode distance. This system is used to describe the location of the scalp electrodes. These electrodes are used to record the electroencephalogram using a machine called electroencephalograph, EEG. So EEG is a record of the brain activity. This record is a result of thousands of neurons in the brain. The pattern of activity changes with the level of the person arousal. If a person is relaxed, then the EEG pattern may be very slow waves. If the person is excited, the EEG pattern may have fast waves. EEG is used to record brain activity for many purposes, including sleep research, to help in diagnosis of brain disorders such as epilepsy. Then arrangement of electrodes while monitoring EEG. Montage, it is a pattern of arrangement of these electrodes on the scalp or the head, and the channels they are connected to it is called as montage. So montage is always symmetrical about the symmetrical, that is it is same towards the left and the right side of the scalp. The reference electrode is generally placed on a non-active site such as near the forehead or the earlobe. So EEG electrodes are arranged on the scalp according to the standard known as 10 by 20 system, which was adopted by the American EEG Society. 10 by 20 system. Traditionally there are 21 electrodes in this 10 by 20 system, and this system involves placement of electrodes at a distance of 10% and 20% measured coronal, sagittal and circumferential areas between landmarks on the cranium. So there are 4 skull landmarks which are available on the cranium, that is the nasation, inion and left preauricular point and right preauricular point. The right and the left preauricular points are near the earlobe. The nasation is between the forehead and the nose, and the inion is at the back of the neck. So these are the 4 skull landmarks which are being considered. The side and the top view of the head, you can observe the left side of the head and the right side of the head, and the pattern of the electrodes, the position of the electrodes placed on the 21 electrodes can be placed on the scalp at different locations. So identification of the electrodes. How you can identify the electrodes? Electrodes are identified according to their position on the head. The electrodes are identified according to their position on the head. FP for frontal polar, F for frontal, C for central, P for parietal and T for temporal, and O for occipital. Based upon their starting letter, you are representing these electrodes, the positions of the electrodes on the head. FP for frontal polar, capital F for frontal, capital C for central, P is for parietal and T is for temporal and O is for occipital. Odd numbers we refer to the electrodes on the left side of the head, and even numbers we represent them those on the right side of the head. And Z denotes the midline electrode. It is the midline electrode. One electrode is labeled isoground and is placed at a relatively neutral site on the head, usually the midline forehead. Then placement of electrodes on the scalp. We have the different electrodes, placement of electrodes on the scalp. That is, you can observe in the figure there are 21 locations. Capital F is the frontal. So you can observe in the figure there are 2 frontal uh, frontal polar FP. They represent FP1 and FP2. FP1 and FP2 are the frontal polar. Then we have the frontal which are represented by the blue color, F7, F3. All those which are represented as odd numbers, they are on the left side, and even numbers on the right side. F4 and F5 all are frontal locations. Then we have frontal central also, FC, FC5, FC1, FC2 and FC6 are all the even numbers on the right side. Then we have the central CZ, and C4 and C3 are there. Then we have temporal TP1, TP10 and TP9. Then we have occipital OZ and O1 and O2. O1 and O2. So the 10/20 system. The 10/20 system is based on the location of the electrode and the underlying area of the cortex, cerebral cortex. So the 10/20 is based on the location of an electrode and an underlying area of the cerebral cortex. So each point on this figure to the left indicates the possible electrode positions. Each point on this location on this figure to the left indicates a possible electrode position, and each site has a letter. We have each site has a letter and a number of another letter to identify the hemisphere location, and to each site has a letter which represents the hemisphere. So the letter capital F, capital T, capital C, capital P and O stands for frontal polar, frontal, temporal, central, parietal and occipital. Even numbers 2, 4, 6 and 8 refers to the right half of the right hemisphere, and odd numbers 1, 3, 5 and 7 refers to the left hemisphere. The letter Z refers to the electrode placed on the midline. Nasion point is between the forehead and the nose. Anions is the lowest point of the skull from the back of the head, and the letter A represents the ear electrodes. The letter A represents the ear electrodes. Then EEG frequency range. Since the basic frequency of EEG range is classified into 4 bands for the purpose of EEG analysis. We have 4 different bands or 5 bands. I'm sorry, we have 5 bands for the purpose of EEG analysis. Delta, it is the frequency range is from 0.5 to 4 Hertz. Then your theta 4 Hertz to 8 Hertz. Then alpha 8 to 13 Hertz. Beta is 13 to 22 Hertz. And gamma is 22 to 30 Hertz. The alpha rhythm is one of the principal component of EEG and is an indicator of state of alertness of the brain. The alpha rhythm is one of the principal component of the EEG and is an indicator of the state of alertness of the brain. It serves as an indicator of the depth of the anesthesia in the operating room. It serves as an indicator of the depth of the anesthesia in the operating room. Depth of the anesthesia in the operating room. Then we have the EEG waveform. This is the EEG waveform pattern which you can observe. The EEG, so here you can see the waveforms, how they are being generated. First, when we see the delta region, which is 0.5 to 4 Hertz, you have a specific waveform with broad wave pattern. This is the case in the case of infants and sleeping adults. They produce this type of waveform, EEG waveform. Delta is in the case of infants, small babies and sleeping adults. Then we have theta, which is from 4 to 8 Hertz. Children and sleeping adults, they also have this type of waveform. Then we have the alpha, which is from 8 to 13 Hertz. 8 to 13 Hertz. It is in the occipital region. The spikes are generated in this region, 8 to 13 Hertz. Then beta is between 13 to 30 Hertz and it is in the frontal and parietal region. So these are the EEG waveforms, the frequency bands and the pattern, waveform pattern in the various frequency ranges. Then the schematic diagram of EEG machine. The schematic diagram of EEG machine. It consists of the subject, the montage pattern is placed on the subject scalp. Then the electrodes will tap this biopotentials from the scalp of the subject, and through the jack box they are given to the electrode montage selector. Through the montage selector, the signal is given to the amplifier, which consists of filtering circuit, high pass and low pass filter circuit. Then we have the notch and the sensitivity control, and from there the output is given to your writing device, writing unit or analog to digital converter, where you can see the analog signal in the oscilloscope or a digital signal using the computer. In the writing part, you can have a chart recorder, chart drive, or it can be an inkjet recorder. So this is the schematic diagram of an EEG machine. Then the components of the EEG machine. Basic blocks of an EEG machine are electrode montage selector. These are the basic blocks of an EEG machine. They are electrode montage selector, preamplifier, filters, sensitivity control and writer unit. Electrode montage selector. The EEG signals are transmitted from the electrodes to the head box, which is labeled according to the 10x20 system, and then to the montage selector. So the montage selector is a large panel which contains switches that allows user to select which electrode pair will have signals subtracted from each other to create an array of channels of output called as montage. So each channel is created in the form of an input from one electrode minus the input from the second electrode. Then your preamplifier. Every channel which you have selected from the montage selector box, every channel has an individual multi-stage AC coupled very sensitive amplifier with differential input and adjustable gain in a wide range. Its frequency response can be selected by a single stage passive filter. A calibrated signal is used for controlling and documenting the sensitivity of the amplifier channels. This supplies a voltage step of adequate amplitude to the input of the channels. A typical value of calibration signal is needed, which is of about 50 microvolts per centimeter. As the EEG potentials are small in amplitude, the preamplifier must have very high gain and high CMRR, that is low noise characteristics. So to minimize the stray interference signals from power lines and other equipments, the amplifier must have very high CMRR, that is common mode rejection ratio. The next part of your EEG recording setup is your sensitivity control. So the overall sensitivity of an EEG machine is the gain of the amplifier. It is nothing but the gain of the amplifier. This is the overall sensitivity of an EEG machine. So the gain of the amplifier multiplied by the sensitivity of the writer. Thus, if the writer sensitivity is 1 centimeter per volt, the amplifier must have an overall gain of 20,000 for 50 microvolt signal. So filters, EEG may have muscle artifacts. Artifacts are nothing but the disturbances due to the contraction of the scalp and the neck muscles which overlie the brain and the skull. So these artifacts are removed by using low pass filters. Then the filter banks consist of appropriate filters to select the different types of brain waves. From the preamplifiers, the signals are passed to the to a notch filter with a frequency of 50 Hz. The effect of the notch filter on signal distortion is not so much important because EEG signals have frequencies below 30 hertz, and notch filter 50 hertz frequency it can allow. So this effect is not so much important. Then your next part is your writing part. The writing part, it is usually the ink type direct writing recorder. The best type of pen motors used in EEG machines have a frequency response of about 90 hertz. The inkjet recording system gives responses which are up to 1000 hertz. So the writing part, it is usually the inkjet type of the direct writing recorder. The best type of pen motors used in EEG machines, they have a frequency response of about 90 hertz, and the inkjet recording system gives response up to 1000 hertz. Paper drive. This is provided by a synchronous motor. An accurate and a stable paper drive mechanism is necessary, and it is able to and it is available for selection. The normal paper chart speed is 30 mm per second, and there are also 60 mm per second for high frequency recording and 15 mm per second to conserve paper during setup time. The channels. The EEG is recorded simultaneously from any array of many electrodes. So it can be recorded simultaneously from any array of many electrodes. So the electrodes are connected. The electrodes are connected to separate amplifiers and writing systems. Commercially, EEG machines have up to 32 channels, although 8 or 16 channels are common. Not 1, it is 16 channels are common. So up to 32 channels you can have, but your most commonly used channels are 18 to 62 channels are common. Then the applications of EEG. Monitoring EEG has been an effective method of diagnosing many neurological illnesses and diseases like epilepsy, tumor, cerebrovascular lesions, ischemia, and problems associated with trauma. These are the applications where monitoring ECG has been effective method of diagnosing many neurological illnesses and diseases like epilepsy, like tumor, cerebrovascular lesions, and ischemia, and problems associated with trauma. Effectively used in the operating room to facilitate anesthetics and to establish the integrity of anesthetized patient's nervous system. Integrity of anesthetized patient's nervous system. An EEG might also be helpful for diagnosing or treating the following disorders. It will be helpful for diagnosing and treating the disorders like brain tumors, brain damage and head injuries, then brain dysfunctions that can have a variety of causes. They are called encephalopathy, and inflammation of brain, that is called encephalitis, and then the stroke and sleep disorders. So an EEG might also be used to confirm brain death in someone in a persistent coma. It is also used to confirm the brain death in someone in a persistent coma. A continuous EEG is helpful to find out the right level of anesthesia for someone in medical induced coma. It is also useful to find the right level of anesthesia for someone in a medically induced coma. Then, to summarize our topic of discussion today, upon completion of this presentation, you were able to understand what is a bipolar and a unipolar lead. Bipolar and unipolar leads. What are bipolar leads? Bipolar leads are examples are standard limb leads. they utilize a single positive and a single negative electrode. That means you are using two electrodes and you are measuring the potential between the two electrodes. Unipolar leads are augmented leads and chest leads. They have a single positive electrode, and the electrodes and you are going to utilize a combination of other electrode to serve as a composite negative electrode. The difference between a bipolar lead and a unipolar lead is bipolar leads are standard lead systems, Einthoven system. Unipolar are augmented unipolar lead system. In bipolar leads, we have a hollow needle containing two pieces of platinum wires, each of which is insulated except at its tip. Whereas in unipolar lead, we have a solid stainless steel needle which is insulated except at its tip. Then the two electrodes are used called stimulating electrode and contact electrode in bipolar leads. When coming to the unipolar leads, we have only one stimulating electrode, and the electrodes are placed in four different locations: left arm, left leg, right arm and right leg in your bipolar leads. And these leads include frontal leads in an ECG, lead 1, lead 2 and lead 3 configuration. Then three augmented lead connections are possible, and these leads include AVL, AVR and AVF. In the bipolar leads, the potential is measured between the two electrodes, and in unipolar leads, the potential is measured between one single electrode and a central terminal. Then coming to the next topic is your applications, which I have dealt now. The applications of ECG is they are used to indicate the rate and rhythm or pattern of contraction of the heart. It also gives a clue about the condition of the heart muscles and is used to diagnose the heart disorders or diseases. It helps to determine whether the heart is normal or it is enlarged or its certain regions are damaged. It can also reveal the irregularities in the heart rhythm due to known as arrhythmias. And also it is used by the doctors to diagnose heart damage in conditions like high blood pressure, rheumatic fevers and birth defects. It is also used to determine the location and amount of injury caused by the heart attack, and later helps to assess the extent of the recovery. Then coming to the topic electrical activity of the brain, we have studied about the electroencephalogram. It is an instrument which is used for recording the electrical activity of the brain by placing suitable electrodes. They are surface electrodes which are placed on the scalp, and this instrument is called electroencephalogram. The brain generates rhythmic potentials which originate in the individual neurons of the brain. These potentials are all summated together. Millions of such cells discharge synchronously and appear waveforms known as electroencephalogram. Neurons, like other cells, they are electrically neutral when it is at rest. Later on, they change from resting state to action state, and action potential is generated. So the peak to peak waves of amplitudes of the waves that are picked up by the scalp is normally 100 microvolts or less, while the other exposed brain, it is about 1 millivolt. Frequency varies greatly with different behavioral states. The normal EEG frequency contained ranges from 0.5 to 50 Hz. The nature of the wave varies over the different parts of the scalp. The variation in the EEG signal, both in terms of amplitude and frequency, are of diagnostic value. Frequency information is particularly significant. Then the types of electrodes which we have studied, there are 4 electrodes, that is the scalp electrodes. These are in the shape of silver pads and discs or caps. They are made up of stainless steel and silver chloride wires, chloride silver wires. Then we have the sphenoidal valves, which are insulated silver bare wire and chloride tip inserted through muzzle tissue by a needle. Then nasopharyngeal electrodes, these are silver rods with silver ball at the tip inserted through the nostril. Electrocardiographic electrodes are cotton wicks soaked in saline solution that rests on the brain surface. Intracellular electrodes, they are Teflon coated gold or platinum wires used to stimulate the brain. Then about the placement of the types of electrodes we have studied. Then about the placement of the electrodes, a 10 by 20 pattern is followed for the placement of the electrodes. The skull is divided into 4 landmarks: nasion, inion, left pre-auricular point and right pre-auricular points. And then we have the electrodes are identified by the positions on the head by the letters capital FP for frontal polar and capital F plus for frontal and capital C for central and capital P for parietal and capital T for temporal and capital O for occipital. Odd numbers refers to the electrodes on the left side of the head and even numbers represents the electrodes on the right side, and Z denotes the midline electrode, and one electrode is labeled isogrounded, and this is placed at a relatively neutral site on the head, usually the midline forehead. Then this 10 by 20 system, it is very important system for placement of electrodes on the scalp. There are 21 electrodes which are placed on the scalp with the ear. We have the ear electrodes, so they are represented by capital A. And this EEG waveform frequency band range, there are 5 bands of frequencies: delta, alpha, beta, theta, delta and gamma. Alpha is from 0.5, delta is from 0.5 to 4 hertz. These occur in every 2 to 3 seconds, occur in deep sleep, in premature babies and very serious organic brain diseases. Okay, these delta waves are they are found in premature babies. Then your theta waves, they are from 4 to 8 hertz, recorded from parietal and temporal regions of the scalp of children, and in adults they pre-occur during disappointment and frustration. In adults they pre-occur during disappointment and frustration. Then we have alpha. Alpha is between 8 to 13 hertz. They occur in the occipital region. During sleep they disappear. This alpha, during the sleep they disappear. They are indication of the state of alertness of the brain. Then beta is between 13 to 22 hertz. They are recorded from parietal and frontal regions of the scalp. They are recorded from parietal and frontal regions of the scalp. And gamma is between 22 to 30 hertz. Gamma is between 22 to 30 hertz. So that is about the different frequency ranges, and we have studied about the placement of electrodes. And in the schematic diagram of the EEG machine, the basic components are electrode montage selector, preamplifier, then filters we have, then sensitivity control and writer unit are there. In the electrode montage selector, EEG signals are transmitted from the electrode to a head box which is labeled according to 10 by 20 system, and then to the montage selector. The montage selector is a large panel containing switches that allow user to switch electrode pair which has to select the desired electrode pairs. Then we have the preamplifier. The preamplifier is used to it acts as it is an individual multi-stage. Every channel has an individual multi-stage AC coupled very sensitive amplifier with differential input and adjustable gain in the wide range. Its frequency response can be selected by single stage passive filters. A calibration signal is used for controlling and documenting the sensitivity of the amplifier. A typical calibrating signal of 50 microvolts per centimeter is used, and the potentials, EEG potentials, are small in amplitude, so the preamplifier must have very high gain and high CMRR ratio, common mode rejection ratio, to minimize the stray interference signals from power lines and other equipments in the amplifier. Then we have the writing part, the writing sensitivity control. The overall sensitivity of the EEG machine is the gain of the amplifier multiplied by the sensitivity of the writer. Then we have the filters. The EEG may have many, it may produce muscle artifacts due to contraction of the scalp and the neck muscles which overlie the brain and the skull. So these artifacts can be removed by low pass filters. The filter bank consists of appropriate filters to select for different types of brain waves. From the pre-amplifier, the signals are passed through the notch filter. The effect of the notch filter on signal distortion is not so much because important EEG signals have frequencies between below 30 Hertz. Below 30 Hertz. Then the last one, we have the writing part. It is usually the ink type direct writing recorder. The best type of the pen motors used in EEG machines have frequency response of about 90 Hertz and inkjet recording response have 1000 Hertz. Paper drive, it is provided with a synchronous motor. Accurate and stable paper drive mechanism is necessary and it is available for selection. The normal paper chart speed is 30 mm per second and there are also cases where we use 60 mm per second for higher frequency recording and 15 mm per second to conserve paper during setup time. Channels. The EEG is recorded simultaneously from an array of many electrodes. The record can be made from bipolar or monopolar leads. The electrodes are connected to separate amplifiers and writing systems. Commercially, EEG machines have up to 32 channels or 8 to 16 channels are most commonly used. Coming to the applications, they are helpful in diagnosing many neurological illnesses and diseases like epilepsy, tumor, cerebrovascular lesions and ischemia and problems related with trauma. Effectively used in operating rooms to facilitate anesthetics and to establish the integrity of anesthetized patient nervous system. And EEG is very helpful for diagnosing or treating many disorders like brain tumor, brain damage from head injury and brain dysfunction that can have a variety of causes, and inflammation of the brain, the stroke and the sleep disorders. And EEG might also be used to confirm brain death in some persons, who are persistent to coma. A continuous EEG is used to help to find out the right level of anesthesia for someone in a medically induced coma. So we have understood the concepts of bipolar and unipolar leads, application of ECG and electrical activity of the brain, EEG, frequency range, type and placement of electrodes and schematic diagram of EEG machine and application of EEG measurement. So with this I would like to end my presentation today.